Hey guys, we want to welcome you to Dragon Ball Super Spring Regional Game number 3. We have a very interesting match for you today. It is going to be Syn Shenron against Cell Surge. What are these decks that people are bringing in here? Azeem, what do you think? What do you think about this matchup? It is going to be pretty interesting, right?
It is. Like, we were expecting to see Syn Shenron obviously being the aggressive / mid-ranger deck that it is. But seeing Cell Surge, like, Surge mechanic when it was introduced was so powerful and again just took the game by storm. Not just Cell, but we saw Goku, we saw Piccolo. So they were really, really great cards to have there. But to see it in this meta, a best of one meta, which is very different, obviously, is still great. Both players are XO at the moment, so they have won both their rounds before, which is really great again to see cells like that as well. But yeah, Shadow Dragons have got their power boost as well from the previous set. All 7 Shadow Dragons are together now, so it's going to be really interesting. We do see the Demigo Unison, such a powerful unison to play, I have to say. Turn 1, and it literally just sits there. Not only does it help you awaken, it also helps you with all your dormant potential cards, your counterplay cards, all of that, which is absolutely incredible there. So great turn 1 play from Tom, I have to say, so far.
One very important thing about having that unison card on board, it's not just for you just to have that unison, it's so that you have all your defensive option online, up and running, ready to go. You know, green has one of the most powerful defensive option in the game right now with dormant potential, which kind of shuts down all aggression your opponent is playing, especially early aggression, and also the very, very powerful charismatic villain Frieza that you can play once per turn, that when he comes down, pop anything 7 or less on the board. It might be a little bit difficult when it comes to playing against maybe Syn Shenron, because most of the big heaters, they can come out fast, they can come out at 8 energy, which kind of goes above what Charismatic Villain can do. But Charismatic Villain, Tom Smith, who is playing Cell Surge, still has the ability to just to pop anything that's lower, just to disrupt the chain and make sure that all this aggressive and defensive option of Syn Shenron does not come online as soon as possible.
Yeah, true. So I can see that in the chat, there's a lot of support for Tom there. I do also see that his camera's gone off a bit. Oh no, it's just returned there. Okay, that's fine. Just a little bit of issue there, but no problem. So yeah, so there's a lot of support for Tom, as I just mentioned there. Who knows? Like I said, Cell Surge is just interesting to see. We do see the Android 18 Predator's Prey go into the drop area, so that inclines that he is playing a successor mechanic again, going into the hand destruction of the cell set of what is the cell card called? I can't remember. Perfection something.
Perfection Surplus, or which one?
That one of them. the 9-drop successor that when it's played, it negates the leader's ability and then drops 3 cards from your opponent's hand. So,
well, yes.
Yeah, so the SPR from set 9 as well. So it would be nice to see that as well. But the main thing here, I would say, is to try, for Tom especially, is to try and not allow Andrea to get to 5 energy, because when Andrea gets to 5 energy, that Syn Shenron leader ability is active. So you can tap all 5.
6 energy.
6 energy. Sorry, yes, yep. 6. You're right, correct. 6 energy, allowing him to play 7 Shadow Dragons with different names from his drop area, which can be a game-winning turn. So this is going to be quite interesting to see.
It is definitely going to be very, very interesting, because what Cell has, which is hand destruction, you know what Cell usually don't have? Board control. So it is going to be interesting to see against a deck which is Syn Shenron, which in order to go past it, there is going to be a lot of blocker coming Tom's way, the Cell Surge player's way. So it will be interesting to see how he is going to handle it, how he is planning to play around this. But one thing to say here is that both of them do have very, very cool playmat that they're showing it off in the stream right now. Really enjoying the artwork of Dragon Ball Super card game, especially with the new sets that are coming out. Every single card looks so good.
Very true indeed. And if you haven't actually seen the playmats that you get for not only entering but the winner playmat as well for this regional, they are pretty good. So go check out Cardmarket. Go check out the links that we have in Cardmarket, as well as the Dragon Ball Super website. just some of the artwork. And just speaking on artwork, like Melvin, we had this chat like with the Championship Pack Volume 1, like what out of those, like again, not only are the artwork amazing, but the cards are so good as well. But, like, out of those, like what are you most looking forward to?
Okay, it's easy. It's going to be Mecha Freezer. I think Mecha Freezer is going to be the money card this time round, giving, especially if you want to play Mecha Freezer, that card is good. Even if you don't want to play Mecha Freezer, that card has the ability to give you just so much defensive option. It is really good. It is not a cost itself, so you don't have to tap the one card just to swing it if you don't have the ability to. However, if you have one card to tap, you have to tap it. So it just shuts down play for just one energy. It is a very amazing card. What about you, Azeem?
I think for me, it's not mainly because of the card effect, but I just really like the artwork of it. It's the Hercule. The Hercule,
yes,
especially the foil stamp version, where it has the stars, the twinkly stars around him. I think that's just such a nice card to have. So that would be my pick of it. But yeah, it
would be interesting. It would be interesting here because at least both of us are not going to be fighting the card. So would you say that, Azeem, if you open up a Mecha Freezer from your championship pack, could you send it to me and I'll send you the Hercules?
That's something that we can definitely work out there. But anyway, we do see the charge of yellow from Tom. So he is playing multicolored, obviously. We already knew he's playing multicolored, but charging the green and yellow energy, he now is obviously got that. He's not playing the Analyzer, it doesn't look like, at least. So just having those yellow-green energies there is good for him.
Yep. What is interesting here is that the Syn Shenron player plays that 4-drop Shadow Dragon or Omega Shenron. It doesn't really affect the Such Cell player because that Shadow Dragon, that Omega Dragon, people is gonna kill me in the chat right now for butchering that name. That 4-drop Omega Shenron, it's gonna just disable your opponent's leader to be unable to swing. But you know what Such Cell doesn't want to do? He doesn't want to swing, so it's totally fine. And but we can see that the Unison has been taken out, but with the amount of energy that is open with the Such Cell player, this is definitely fine. There is no sign of danger anywhere near for Such Cell player. Do you think that this is going to be the aggressive variant or the defensive variant when it comes to the Syn Shenron?
I think, again, best of one just inclines it to be more aggressive. But I think, like I said before, when Syn Shenron gets to 6 energy, it just becomes an aggressive deck inherently because of the Syn Shenron leader effect. But until then, obviously, you're just trying to build your board. You're just trying to get to 6 energy, so you can obviously do that. So it can play, obviously, in both ways. It can be very versatile. So, yeah, quite interesting.
Yep. There are a lot of support for Tom in the chat right now. I believe that he is the people's player.
Yeah, it seems to be, obviously being a resident UK player as well. So I'm pretty sure there's people all around from Europe who have their own country to back. So just to see support for Tom, which is good. Keep your support coming, guys. Let's see if we can get some support for Andrea as well.
Yep, correct. So let's show the support for both of our players here. They are putting, both of them are 2 games up. So it is a very important match for them because all of them, they want to go X0. And anyone who loses the game, this is going to be best of 150 minutes top. And they have only one chance to make this correct. And hopefully one of them, it's going to emerge the victor and go up to X0. And another one, unfortunately, would have to take a loss here.
Very true. Now, I do believe that it is important for Tom here to put another Unison out, so he does have access to Freezer, the charismatic villains, which is going to be quite important in terms of board removal. As you stated, Cell isn't great in terms of board removal, so that Freezer is definitely going to come in play here. But we do see, I think that's Nuvon's Shenron coming down?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
No, that is Nuvon. Yeah, Nuvon Shenron coming down. The Great 8 Bardock is also coming down as well, but counterplay against, obviously, coming the Bardock.
No, to play that card, all he has to do is just to tap 1 if there is another Shadow Dragon on the board, and that 1 energy Shadow Dragon does that count as a Shadow Dragon for the 1 energy?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. They count as one energy. The shadow, the negative Dragon Balls. I think they do count shadow
Yeah,
dragons.
it is a shadow dragon. So the Nova Shenron, it's just a one energy, and when he plays, activate me once per turn, just burst two, and he's able to play a Shadow Dragon with energy cost 2 or more, 19k or less, from the drop area. So the more he stays on the board, the more difficult it is for Tom. So Tom has a big task right now to take care of whatever it's on the board right now. You can see that instead of going for a very strong one Shadow Dragon, you can see that our Syn Shenron player, which is Andrea, he is planning to go white. This is a change of strategy. Maybe it is a better play against such cell itself.
Yeah, again, I'm just going to keep coming back to it. Like Andrea's on 3 energy now, so he's halfway to 6. So another 3 turns, and then he gets his big blowout turn, which can again spell just a game-winning turn. But it's also dependent on what Tom can do. Hey, Tom's on 4 energy, only 1 yellow energy, 2 green.
There is, I
He
think,
hasn't awakened with Surge either as well, so that's another thing.
Tom has a lot of options over here. So, for example, with 4 energy and a magical number 9 on the board, the best play right now is Super 17. And he is going to be dropping this card. And I believe that he's going to draw a card, take a life. Yes, that is what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's the cell, Xeno cell from set 9.
Yep, correct. It looks like the very expensive SCR, but not exactly. And he's going to tap 3. It is going to be Super 17. So when Super 17 is the best play right now for Tom, and this is perfect when he is being played. Successor for 9, you can see the 5 drops Charismatic Villain, 4 drop Warcry Ape. Play this card with 3 energy. Your opponent crits their life all the way down to 4.
Which is big, which is very big indeed. As you see, Andrea is on 8, and he's just picking up a stack. He's picking all 4, and look at that.
Yeah, but not again, even. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So again, just playing. It's a great move by Tom, I have to say. Super 17, like you said, was the best. Not only does it do that when it attacks, it draws a card and rests 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. Such a great card. But
and
not
it
only
is a 30k crit.
Yes, 30k crit, but not only that, it's a 9 cost. So for next turn, Tom can go into the cell and then also have Android 18 in the drop area. So
correct.
Next turn could be the game-winning turn for Tom here. So this could be really, really interesting to see. Now, it just all depends on what Andrea can do and if he can stop the attack.
Yeah, but it is also very difficult when it comes for Andreas. The reason is if Android 19, Super 17 is being taken out, there is going to be an option of Cell Revolting Regenerator. A Revolting Regenerator that you can play when your 9 drop. It is another 9 drop on the board, and when Revolting Generator is being played, it can KO something 5 or less, which is all the targets on Syn Shenron's players. So it is very nice to see that such Cell is now having quite a bit of advantage. So what? Okay. He is going to awaken. Yep.
Wow. And if you put 2 cards under Surge Leader, you want them to be those 2 cards. The Great Ape, Son Goku, Saiyan Instincts, and Punishing Passion, Ribrianne. That when they're both in the discard, you both tap 2, and then you can either draw 2 for the Saiyan Instincts, or you can have your opponent discard 2 cards for the Ribrianne. So great cards that you want. Again, like I said, he's opting to activate
this
the
is the better option. Yep.
Yeah, now what would you do? So Cell has 2 abilities here. Obviously, it has an ability that all cards are played in rest mode during your next turn, or it has an ability that KOs a card and your opponent discards a card. So again, it can either help with your hand destruction or it can help towards the saving you for next turn. So let's see what he's opting to do here.
I think Tom might be going for hand destruction. So tap 2, and he's going to... Okay, so the next... Because there is no activity on the battle area, I believe that Tom went for the second option, which is everything that is being played, it's played in rest mode for the next turn.
Correct.
However, he is opting to go for Rebrand to make his opponent discard 2 instead of making your opponent draws 2. So interesting option over there.
No, I can agree with that. I think that's a very, very good play. Like I said, Andrea's now on 4 energy this turn, so he's not going to be able to do his blowout turn yet. So just putting extra cards in the drop area isn't going to make much of a difference at the moment, but just getting that hand size down is what's going to matter. So keeping this Super 17 on board is going to be quite crucial. So if he can, then obviously he's got a successor into 9 next turn. Obviously, if he still has the cell next turn, Mechikabura Unison coming down for 4. Now, this is quite important as well. Yeah, so it gives, sorry. So
I was wondering why was the counter on the Syn Shenron.
Yeah, so he gets it there. And it's also a blocker, and when it does get a counter removed, you rest one of your opponent's cards.
Okay. Interestingly, I do not know what is he going to be aiming for. Is he going to be doing a -4 just to gain control of that very, very valuable Super 17? Or is he going to do a +1 that makes sure to draw a card and not make sure that the battle card in rest mode, which is Super 17, cannot be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn? I think the +1 might be a very bad option over here, considering that Tom, it's definitely going to go for the cell swing the next turn.
Yeah, so, very true. So as we stated, next turn, Tom is in the optimal Cell Xeno range at 5 energy. So Cell Xeno, if it does come down, he gets his ultimate ability in terms of not only is it a 40k dual attack card, but Andrea will be losing 3 random cards from his hand. So wants to try and keep that Super 17 on board, as we've stated. But again, if you, like you mentioned, Melvin, if he does have that cell in hand, the one that gets played for free, then it's just going to spell disaster for Andrea.
So I think he needs to take the risk right now, but not removing the Super 17. It's also going to be very problematic.
Yeah, I can definitely agree, because again, if he leaves it on board, he gets another swing with a 30k critical, so he has removed it, which is great. But yeah, like as I was saying, that critical, he does have the cell. He does have the cell.
Okay, so, but now this is the issue over here, that the Mecha Freeze, when it comes to Andrea, can activate the Unison, which is Mechikabura, that -4 to grab that cell. Then because that cell, it's only once per turn, Tom Smith cannot replay that, doesn't have that 9 on the board. Interesting.
So optimal play for Tom is that he wants to keep that cell on board. Obviously, if Andrea can remove it in some way, then that's going to be quite interesting. Now, Paragus super combo coming in, very nice super combo. I'm so surprised. Would you play this over? Would you still play Paragus over the? What's the green super combo? I can't remember which one it is now.
Dr. Giro or?
No, the one that is the same as. What's it called?
Is it the Sun Gohan one?
That's the one, the Gohan.
Okay,
that's the one, yeah.
You cannot really play that Sun Paragus. It's always better than Sun Gohan, because Sun Gohan, you need to put 1 card underneath and you draw 2. When it comes to Paragus, you draw 2 and send 1 to warp.
Yes.
So it makes a very huge difference. And Paragus, it's always a better super combo here.
Definitely drawing the cards before you obviously
discarding it.
Is a lot better. So we do see the cell now being rested by the Zamasu super combo from Andrea. So can he get rid of it? Is he going to opt to -4 and remove it? Or is he just going to try and get over it? Let's see. This is quite an interesting turn for Andrea. Like we stated, if Tom has the cards in hand, the next turn is going to be really, really powerful.
Yep, it also really depends on how much the Andrea understand about the matchup, how important he knows that the 9 drop is in his on the table itself. So it really depends. He might, if he does not understand in the next turn, it is going to be within Cell Xeno range. It is going to be within the huge 9 drop cell range, that he might think that the common 9 drop, it is going to be okay, but that is not true. So let's see. It also plays into what Andrea knows about this matchup. It is going to be interesting. What would you do though, Azeem, if you are the one who's in Andrea position? You have a Unison card that has not activated the marker. Would you -4 or go for that 1 drop?
It would be quite interesting. Like you said, hopefully Andrea knows the matchup. Like we said, like Cell Surge is not a deck that we would have thought to have seen. But I definitely think at this point, getting rid of that 9-drop cell is more important in terms of everything. So if Andrea has the options to get over, like we said with the Mechikabura, minusing 4, taking control of that cell might be worth it. So, but then again, if he does have the SS4 Vegeta in hand, the counterplay, that obviously it will just stop the cell from being a threat next turn. So let's see what he's going to opt to do here. He's on 3 life. Andrea's on 3 life, so they're both on 3 life. Sorry, I should say.
Mhm.
But then again, is that any card played, the cell effect is still in play. So any card being played gets rested. So he's opted just to leave it here.
Yep, correct. And you saw that Tom would definitely have the cell in his hands because with Paragus, he sends one of the 9-drop cell into the warp. So I believe that it is just one of his important game pieces, and I believe that he has it in his hands. One important point to take note when it comes to Tom playing that he does not have a multicolor card in his energy. So maybe he's doing this just to get around the energy exhaust, which kind of destroy one of his turn over there. It takes some skills to do that because you want to make sure that you have the correct cards in your energy, the correct color just to play your cards. So kudos to Tom for able to do that. It's just much easier to play like multicolor energy.
Yeah, sorry, no, I can totally agree with what you're saying there.
Mm.
Just charging that 1 energy, even if he was to awaken Surge on that turn, it just wastes a little energy that he can do obviously something else with. So he does have 5 energy now. As you stated, he did remove the cell from play, so maybe he does have the Surge.
Tapping
So
4, it's going to be Xeno.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So now this negates the leader's effect, which is quite powerful on its own. But then not only that, it removes 3 cards from Andrea's hand. It gets him look at it as well. So that's powerful. So getting rid of the Master Super combo, I think would be good. Getting rid of, I see a Cell Xeno in hand as well.
Get rid of the Cell Xeno. Yeah, oh, this is so bad. What are the 2 extra cards? Did you manage to see it? One is the 5K. Yes. Oh, so okay.
Dragon Thunder and there's a Vegeta Final Flash. So that Final Flash is going to be big.
Very, very important. Yep.
Yeah. But now the question is, so does Tom have Cell Xeno? Because if he does, then that's game because he gets rid of the final 3 cards in Andrea's hand. But Mechikabura is still a blocker.
Yes, correct. But you could swing with, it's going to be very, very difficult. Swing with Cell Xeno, swing with that cell on the board. Let me get the name. The unthinkable perfection. That's why I couldn't get it into my mind, ain't it? Because I cannot phantom the perfection that is on the board right now. So Cell, the unthinkable perfection, it's going to swing for triple strike, going for 30k. He really have to defend this one. However, what you point out earlier on is also correct. There is a 3-drop waiting to be played in the drop area.
There is, yes, and he does have the energy to do it. Yep. But obviously, we do see that there's, like I said, there's a blocker in Mechikabura Unison. There's also a Vegeta's Final Flash in Andrea's hand. So Andrea does have outs. Andrea does have outs to this move, but I think it's passed. Has it just passed it? Maybe he doesn't have the cell.
Yep, correct. I believe that might be the issue over here. Okay, very, very interesting. Now, the Syn Shenron player, it's approaching 5 energy. The Q turn for Syn Shenron, if all else fails, it's turn number 6. Unless you're playing against blue, there is really no out for that. Unless it's Dormant Potential. Maybe that might be one of the options. Such cell do have a opt-out for that is just to take one of the search option and just to make sure every single card is played in rest mode. However, this is not an option anymore for Tom Smith, the cell search player, because all this power has been used up. So he really wants to finish it in the next round if he can survive this one.
Yes, like you said, because this round at the moment, because of the unspeakable perfection, so the Syn Shenron leader has no abilities apart from it's obviously it doesn't have any abilities. Negates all abilities on the leader for the turn. But going into Tom's turn, has he taken control? Yeah, so he's taking control of the cell.
Yep.
Obviously, just trying to move it between the cameras is going to be hard. But the thing, they're just talking that over there. So yeah, so as I was saying, everything gets played in rest mode because of the cell leader effect.
Yep.
So so he's attacked and he's negated his android. What's he going to drop here?
One of the interesting thing over here is why didn't he swing with the unthinkable perfection? Because if Magicabura, if they are going to block with Magicabura, then Magicabura is going to get a -3 marker.
Very true there.
But then
maybe he was just kind of wanting to keep the cell on board. Maybe he just wanted to keep the cell.
And maybe also that it's going to be a +1 for his opponent because the opponent can just final flash it and just take a life and blast one card on his in his hands. So more option. So maybe that is also one of the reasons why. Interesting. Now Tom has only one cost battle card on the board, just one of them. It's going to be a very difficult turn next for. Even if Tom survived this turn, the such cell player, it is going to be very difficult. Okay.
Yeah, so
he did survive. Okay.
So we do see the cell absorption. I can't remember the 3-drop cell.
Unthinkable. Okay. Yeah.
One in the drop area. Yeah. So that was dropped from the Android 17. So that is also a card that he can play out, but he just has to get rid of his. Oh no, Android 17 stays on board.
Yep, so correct. Right. That is a very good play because all he has to do is to tap one, play that cell from the drop area, and I believe if he plays it, his opponent has to drop a card. Is it?
Yes, that is very true.
What is
so? This is interesting. Yeah, it's just like Tom's moves were very linear. They would go successor 9, then go into the big boys. Right now, obviously, he's only got a 1 cost as he stated on board. So just going back up to that 9 and getting the 12 number for the cells, is going to be a bit difficult. But he does have options. He does have Sane Instincts in the drop area, so he can draw 2 cards. However, next turn is going to be, as we stated, pretty hard because Andrea can just go tap 6, bring 7 Shadow Dragons back from the drop area.
Yes, I agree with you over here. So he's going to be tapping 1, making the Syn Shenron player drops a card. Now, because of this, it is just fodder. What can he do with the magical number 4 on the board itself? There is not too many successor option.
Very true. And he can't bring out the Android 18 because you only have to have Cell on board. Does he have anything else that he can do? I think he's just looking. You can even see from Tom's reactions, like he's just really thinking his moves through because he knows next turn is going to be really tough. I think he even shaking a little bit at one point. But this is going to be a really, really tough turn for Tom because this is what's going to define what happens for the rest of the game. Interesting. He's opted to Ribrianne. Okay, so he's gone to. Will he tap 2 to get rid of the cards in hand? Dragon Thunder.
It is interesting because no matter how many cards that you get rid of your Syn Shenron's player, it is a little bit too late at this moment because the next turn, unless there's nothing that you can do. He's just going to tap 6 and play all his Shadow Dragons from the drop area. And if you have no out for that, it's basically a game. He's going to be tapping 2 to make his opponent discard every single thing. That is very good. Make your opponent take 1 damage, add an additional card into his hands, make him discard all. So your opponent can draw 1, play 1 energy, and play all Shadow Dragons. And if Tom does have dominant potential, maybe there's a way that he can survive.
True. He has opted to attack. Is he attacking the leader with the cell?
Yes.
Interesting. Does he have a Champa in hand? Does he have the Champa in hand? That would be really interesting to see.
Cell is the android though, so he can actually use also the Dr. Giro too to get a 5k double strike, even though it's 5k. Yep, it's a 5k double strike. So here we go. It is only a 15, so he does not have jumper. But that's a good one though, Azim.
Yeah, interesting there. So he's gone down to 1 life now.
0 cards in hand,
True. But
one card in hand,
one
one
card in
life.
hand, yeah, and Andrea has 2 blockers on board though. One in the Mechikabura, one in the and is it Raid Shenron? I think it's Raid Shenron, the winner one. This is really tense, I have to say.
It's a 2-drop, I believe. Oceanus.
Is that Oceanus?
Yes. It's
Okay.
Oceanus, Swift. It does not have blocker.
Okay. So Dragon Thunder as well is still active here. And Dragon Thunder states that if you have 3 or more energy in rest mode, you can activate this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. And then its activate main in battle is if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon, choose up to 1 Shadow Dragon card in your leader or battle area. It gets 5,000 power for the turn. If you paid an energy to activate this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skill for the turn. So the leader is currently sitting on 20k, which is quite interesting here. Are they calling a judge? Is that what's happening here? I think they're just talking over what can and can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
the board,
sorry, go on.
The board state right now. How many blockers does Andrea has? The Syn Shenron player, 2 of them. He's gonna be tapping 3 and going for the Demigra.
Okay, so the Demigra can obviously remove a marker from the unison as well. Removing
but
one blocker.
Yeah, but the problem is it's at 3. He's gonna remove it just to KO that cell and remove something. Oh, why is that so many of them?
Interesting there. So, oh, now this is difficult. Yeah, I think by Tom's reaction, he's saying that he's got nothing else that he can do. And is Andrea just going to go straight in and go tap 6?
It's basically GG, I think.
Yeah, you could tell by Tom's reaction that I don't think he has an out. But let's see what can come about. You never know. There is no dormant because he doesn't have a unison on board. There is no dormant potential.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, really unfortunate. You did really well, Tom. Like, got his opponent down to 0 cards in hand. Just unfortunate, wasn't able to keep the Cell Xeno on board.
Yep, correct.
Not the Cell, sorry, the Unspeakable Perfection on board.
Yep, I think he just didn't have the card in his hands, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unlucky, but I don't think you could even run to Dorman because you have to have mono green leader, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So the people in the chat, thanks for the correction over there.
Very true. Just had to look.
Yep. So Turn to Stone says that you can run Dormant in Cell Search. Yes, correct. Thank you so much for the correction over there. But in the chat itself, we still have quite a lot of diehard Tom supporter that Bumble Loop says, come on, Tom. And they really want him to win. So, Tom, it's the player's choice right here. He is quite in a disadvantage. And, of course, tapping 6 and all these Shenrons are out on the board right now.
Yep, that is 7 dragons that come out, which is pretty hard to deal with, especially when you're tapped out. So, unfortunately, this does look like the end for Tom. It does look like that Andrea is going to take the game, but let's see. We never know. There might be something that Tom might be able to pull out the hat.
It's a special spice, maybe.
Definitely. So we'll wait and see. Let's see what happens. It's the last. It's tense again. It's still tense. One life. With what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks, I think it is.
Okay, but that promo Omega Shenron, it's going to be very, very difficult to KO.
Yeah, Very true indeed. So he's just resting a card now.
Okay. Skinny11 mentioned in the chat that Smith can't play Cell that costs 3. Actually, it is not true because the Zone mentioned it correctly that Cell Night Drop was on the opposite field because of Magic Buddha. So actually, it is a legal play because there is only 17 on the board that Night Drop Cell is not supposed to be there.
Yes, that is very true. Obviously, in yeah, there we go. We do see Andrea taking it. But sorry, as I was going to say, that changing cards in terms of players, obviously, over a webcam event is going to be very, very difficult. So congratulations to Andrea for taking that win. Commiserations to Tom. He fought hard. He really did, I have to say. Like, it was really great to see just a Surge leader in this format, especially. So very, very nice.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting play with Andreas doing all this controlling 2 control decks. This is the first time that we are doing, instead of aggression and control, we have 2 control decks showing what they can do, especially when it comes to best of 1 with 50 minutes on the clock. It gives a little bit more room for control decks to do their stuff over here. So great games, and we really, for me myself, I really enjoyed the game, especially when it comes to such Cell. When that Super 17 drop, I was happy like a little boy. All right, so
that was a very big play. Very big play.
Yeah, that was a very, very good play. And so this, we are going to take a little break right now before we go to game number 4. Guys, if you're in the chat, let us know if there are some decks that you want to see featured in our stream. So let me and Azeem know. We will try to find the decks for you and try to feature it on the stream. All right. So guys, see you guys. Take a little break. See you guys in the next game.